So you may well be confined to your home and unable to get to a practice facility or a golf course because many of them around the world at this time are currently closed. But that does not mean you cannot work on your golf game. And in this particular video, we're going to give you some exercises and some information to really help your body rotation in the golf swing. So this is a very, very different setting for this golf video. I am currently in the UK, currently in lockdown. We have been told that we are not able to leave our homes unless it is for an emergency, such as food, medicine, or essential work. So I'm going to give you some advice on how you can practice some of the things within your golf swing whilst you're at home if you're unable to hit any golf shots or you're unable to make any swings, because we're going to work on some body rotation stuff. So the lesson plan today is really just to understand what we call the tilts, the rotations and the bends, and really starting to understand how they all blend together to create what's going to be a pretty functional pivot in your backswing. This is a topic which is very, very misunderstood, but we're hopefully going to clear up a lot of that in this video and give you some exercises and drills to help you when those golf courses do reopen. So just before we get started, if you're new here, you're not a subscriber, I would urge you to click that link in the description. It's absolutely free. If you click the bell icon as well, that will give you a little notification each time I do post a video. So there's going to be no golf club in this video. So great if you're at home, you've just got some space where you can make some movements, it's perfect. I'm going to use an alignment stick, so that's going to help us identify those individual movements, but I want you to first of all stand up nice and straight and just put this alignment stick across your shoulders. So what are the movements that we will have as options in the golf swing? Well, we will have the option to rotate our body in either direction. We will also have the ability to what we call side bend our body. As you can see, I'm using my upper body to drop each of the shoulders down towards the ground. And the final one is we have the ability to bend forward towards the golf ball, or we have the ability to extend backwards away from the golf ball. Now, when I take my address to a golf shot, I'm pretty much going to have just forward bend. That's the only movement I have in there. I may well have a little bit of side bend to my trail side, but that's only slight. So at setup, we are going to have some forward bend. So there's my address position. Hopefully that looks like a fairly normal address. Now, if I was to go back to a neutral position, so this is my sort of standing up straight. If I rotate through 90 degrees, that puts me in this position here. Now if I what we call side bend to my left, which is my lead side, so I'm going to side bend to my left, that will be hopefully what would look like a fairly normal neutral top of the backswing position. So as we think about that, I was in a neutral starting position. I had rotation and side bend. I had two elements that got me into a pretty functional position. At setup, if you remember, I had forward bend. So if we start to think about that, at setup, I had forward bend. At the top of my backswing, I had rotation and I had side bend, but I didn't have that forward bend. That's where the pivot and the rotation becomes incredibly difficult for many golfers to master. It's not as simple as stand to the golf ball, turn back, turn through. We are constantly changing our forward bends, our rotations, and our side bends. So what's really common is a golfer to start in forward bend. Notice how my chest points down towards the ground. But as they make a rotation, they keep in that forward bend. Notice that my chest is still down towards the ground, and I generally won't have enough angle through my shoulders. So if you want to sense and feel what almost a perfect top of the backswing position is like within your body, the easiest way is to stand up nice and straight, add your rotation, notice that my head's not moving, and then I will add my side bend over to the left. Now if you look at where the buttons on my shirt point, they are pretty much horizontally out away from me. If you think about where those buttons were at the setup, they were down toward the ground. And that's the real key message in this video, is that the forward bend we start with gets taken out as we make our backswing, and it gets replaced with side bend. If we don't reduce the forward bend, you will have a golf swing where your head moves significantly off the ball. If you don't add your side bend, you will have a golf swing where your shoulders are incredibly level. Now, if we look at what are the common faults within a rotation or a pivot, those are really the two common faults. We see a golfer where they often shift their head off the golf ball, And another very common trait would be a golfer who at the top of the golf swing has their shoulders too level, they're not tilted over enough. So if that is you, this is a perfect time to start to work on these movements and these kind of patterns that we're trying to develop, because if you're going to try and do this with a golf club at full speed, you need to be very, very comfortable with those movements. This is the time where you can start to rehearse those. An alignment stick or a golf club is brilliant. You're going to place it across your shoulders and just notice what the lead side of this alignment stick does. It moves down in towards the golf ball. What that is meaning is it means I'm adding my side bend, and because I'm keeping my head nice and still and I'm feeling like my buttons point out horizontally, I'm starting to reduce that forward bend. If I maintain that forward bend, just notice what that lead stick does. It doesn't really drop down towards the golf ball. Very, very different move to what we've just seen. So I would absolutely have you standing here in front of a mirror or reflection would be ideal, and just making some rotations where you feel like that lead shoulder is moving down in towards the golf ball. I've got a nice angle through the alignment stick and my chest is pointing out horizontally away from me. That is a very, very good turn. If you want to look at it in more detail, you are really blending the forward bend, the extension, the rotations, the tilt. All of those things are having to be blended together to create that nice centered look to your golf swing. But as I say, this is the time to really work on that now. Not a bad idea, absolutely, to stand there and just make some poorer movements. Just start to get really comfortable with what are the different movements that are available to you. Get control over your body. If you've got control over your body and you start to be able to control your body and dictate what it does, you're more likely to be able to do the right thing and make that nice centered pivot. So, a different video from my garden at home, but really believe that you can do some good work on your golf game in this period where many of the courses are closed. Many of us around the world are in lockdown. It doesn't mean we can't develop our game, and hopefully some of those drills are going to help you do that. So we'd love to know your thoughts in the comments box. Other videos you'd like me to do during this time of uncertainty, this pandemic that's going around the world. I'd love to get your comments on content you'd like to see. How can I help you with your golf game from home? Let me know in the comments box and hopefully I can get a video out to you. Thanks for watching. We'll hopefully see you back here again soon.